Good afternoon, everyone. I am delighted to welcome you to this short all-faith service of memorial. It is my privilege as President of NCI to open this service with a few short words of introduction. NCI is a close community. Our intent is to deliver to our mission to change lives through education, and to do that in a way that supports everybody within our community. That has never been so important as during 2020, this year that will always be known as a year of the global pandemic. 2020 started, sadly, with the passing of one of our students, Shui Zhang, a student studying here from Hebei University in China. And during the year, we lost two other students, Bhavana Lalsing Bora and Gerard Leonard. Our thoughts are with their family at this sad time. Today, we also remember people who have passed during the year that were close to all of our staff and students. And during this service, you will see the names of those people scrolling across the screen. The service today will be led by the chair of our governing body of this college, Father Leonard Maloney, SJ. I would like to thank Father Leonard for his time and commitment to be with us. He will be joined by other staff and students across the college who are participating in this service. I hope that you will find this a moment of comfort and reflection as we all prepare for the end of the year. Thank you.
We are gathered virtually in this season of Advent, yet to celebrate in memory of those who have gone ahead of us. We remember most especially those who have been associated with this college, with the National College of Ireland. And I'd like to take this opportunity to extend sympathy on behalf of all of us to Dr. Pramod Pathak on the recent death of his mother. The reading concerns a resurrection appearance, because even in Advent, we don't, as the late Father Daniel O'Leary put it, Advent is not about waiting for the baby Jesus as though nobody had ever told us that he had arrived. The Advent moment reminds us that we are coded for God, that we are programmed for heaven. Hence, I think today, in remembering, in being present in Advent, we are also looking forward to meeting with the risen Lord. So this encounter is an encounter between the risen Jesus and Mary of Magdala, one of the most profound moments in human history. It's from John chapter 20. Mary was standing outside the tomb weeping. Then, as she wept, she stooped to look inside and saw two angels in white standing where the body of Jesus had been, one at the head, the other at the feet. They said, "Woman, why are you weeping?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I do not know where they have put him." As she said this, she turned round and saw Jesus standing there, though she did not realize that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said, Sir, if you have taken him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will go and remove him. Jesus said, Mary. She turned round then and said to him in Hebrew, Rabboni, which means master. Jesus said to her, do not cling to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go and find my brothers and sisters and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. So Mary of Magdala told the disciples, I have seen the Lord, and that he had said these things to her.
And therefore, I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And I look upon time as no more than an idea. And I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy and as a singular. And each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending all music does towards silence. And each body a line of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say, all my life I've been married to amazement. I was a bridegroom, taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightening, full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited the world.
When you lose someone you love, your life can become strange. The ground beneath you becomes fragile. Your thoughts make your eyes unsure. And some dead echo drags your voice down, where words have no confidence. Your heart has grown heavy with loss, and though this loss has wounded others too, no one knows what has been taken from you when the silence of absence deepens. Gradually, you will learn acquaintance with the invisible form of your departed. And when the work of grief is done, the wound of loss will heal, and you will have learned to wean your eyes from the gap in the air and be able to enter the hearth in your soul where your loved one has awaited your return all this time.
This afternoon, I'm remembering my friend, my mentor, and later my colleague here at National College of Ireland, John Lynch. May he rest in peace. I'm reading a reflection, When a Loved One Leaves, by Father Antonin Sertilange, OP. When a loved one leaves us, our family doesn't disappear, it is transformed. A part of it enters the invisible. We can believe that death is an absence, while it is a secret presence. We can believe that it creates an infinite distance, while it eliminates all distance by bringing to the spirit what was in the flesh. The more loved ones that have left home, the more heavenly ties for those left behind. Heaven is no longer populated only with angels, unknown saints, and a mysterious God. It's becoming familiar. It's part of our family home, and it's upper level. One could say, and from top to bottom, memories, help, and prayers are answered to each other.
Message from Bhagavad Gita. You are not the body. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not a slain when the body is slain.
We come to the end of this service, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of those who prepared this service and those who have participated. But as always, I'm going to have a penultimate word. I'd like us just to reflect a little on where we're at, time of year, the background of COVID, the challenges that we all face, even as we remember pain of loss of those who have gone ahead of us. I was thinking of two movies recently that you may be familiar with. Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, where, if you remember the butler, Mr. Stevens, he never gets around to saying what he really wants to say to Miss Kenton. He allows himself to be distracted by what some would call the urgent, the immediate, and he never gets in touch with who he truly is. It's a bit like another movie, Cyrano de Bergerac, where because of his feelings about his physical appearance, he never has the courage or the freedom to say yes to Roxanne. There's a writer by the name of Joseph Carroll, whom I don't know terribly well, but he invites us to go into a room, if you like, to go into our own space, where we leave aside the news headlines of the day and we get in touch with what's important within ourselves, that we give ourselves that space, that opportunity. It's a bit like Charles Darwin, who said that if he was going to live his life again, he would live it differently, that he would spend time every week reading poetry and listening to music, because he felt that those senses in him had atrophied at the cost of happiness. So the purpose of our service today, our gathering virtually in these COVID times, is to remind ourselves that there is always that for which, and if we but take the moment and reflect, it could be a chance encounter with a shop assistant, or it could be a very kind word said by somebody with whom you work or with whom you live that you didn't apprehend at the time. But in that room, in that private space, you can get in touch with. I was very moved last Saturday to read an interview with Michael J. Fox. If you remember, he was the star. The movie seems to be on TV every night, Back to the Future. But when he was 29 in real life, not virtually, not cinematically, he was diagnosed with the early onset of Parkinson's. But the tenor of his interview is just extraordinary, because he says, while there were challenges, while it was difficult, he came to a place in which he was grateful. And he was grateful for the fact that he can move, that he can talk, that he can communicate, that he can express affection. But the real place of gratitude for him was in the appreciation of his family, his wife and his children, now grown, but all living together in these COVID times. And I thought, what an extraordinary thing. Here's a man, outwardly his life destroyed, and yet interiorly, because he was in touch with who he is inside, just profoundly grateful. Let's take a moment in which we might be grateful for that which is really good in our own lives. And out of that, I pray, there's an article in the Irish Messenger, Sacred Heart Messenger for the month of December by Father Peter McVerry, and it's about the mystery of God. It's a beautiful article, very short, very simple, but he's essentially saying, gosh, if we could replace the word God on occasion with the word mystery. And he quotes from the Psalm 46, "Be still and know that I am mystery." All of humanity can hear those words. So let's finish by giving thanks for what has been, for the way in which the school, the staff, students, all involved have enabled the NCI to flourish in a different way in recent months, but yet flourish. But perhaps more deeply in our own lives, that in fact, shadowed by COVID, yet there are good moments. And it's those good moments that give us life in the face of mystery. Thank you, and to all, a very blessed and happy Christmas. Amen.